My name is Yasmin Mohamed. I am 28 years of age, born and raised here in Kibera. I am a feminist, a gender activist, a peace ambassador, as well as founder and director of a community-based organization called Superb. It is a feminist women's rights organization that works towards promoting the rights of women and girls here in Kibera. I remember my mom being aggressive, being very bold. Then I remember her fighting in the street. I usually see myself in her. She's still my hero. She will remain my hero. What I know about my dad is I'm really glad that my mom didn't give up on me even when my dad neglected me. Living with somebody, she's going through hell and yet she cannot share with you because she thinks you are still young to understand such, but again for you, you understand each and everything she's passing through. At one point, she even like thought of committing suicide. My mom passed on when I was 9 years. Living under the custody of my grandma, life was really hard. Number one, looking at economic constraints and looking at her age, and she was not employed anywhere, so we were just surviving. And she didn't have enough knowledge to guide us through, so we were being driven by cultural and traditional values. At some point, I felt like they were infringing or rather denying me some of my rights. For me, I'll call all the girls in Kibera sheroes because they've been able to fight against all odds just for survival. We get to experience different challenges and issues, from access to water and sanitation to access to privacy. When a girl is coming from a household of, let's say, like 5, they even don't have access to sanitation and clean water. So it is really hard for her during maybe her menses to get access to sanitation, and most of the girls here in Kibera, they end up getting infections because they usually share a toilet with at least 10 of the household. Girls here in Kibera, I will say majority of the population are being manipulated because of lack of access to education or information on sexual and reproductive health and rights. They end up being manipulated and being lied to by some of the men out there in the street and then get them pregnant. So when they get pregnant, they drop out of school. Another thing, we are looking at insecurity. Girls are not safe, even just trying to go and access water, because you need to go like 1 kilometer or 2 kilometers to go and fetch water because of water scarcity. So if you get to that point or location where you are going to access water, that water point, the water is being sold by some men. So if it's maybe at night or early in the morning, chances of you exposing yourself to GBV is really hard. Women and girls are being raped day in, day out when they go access or rather fetch water. The current situation, like in Kibera, to be honest, people are living under $1 per day. Even just putting food on the table, it's a struggle. So for that girl to even access food, they usually find alternatives. Now we call it transactional sexual activities. And looking at how they usually get money is by transacting sex for now the materials. Due to the vulnerability, older men take advantage of the younger girls because of the family status and background. Then they fall into their trap, they get them pregnant, lying to them that they'll change the life status of their family as well as their source of livelihood. Then another mouth has been added to that family. During COVID, a lot of women and girls didn't have access to these products. And you having no access to this product might lead to so many things. Information, I will say it's an investment that if you impart or rather share with an individual, she'll be able to make informed decisions. I'm coming from a community where talking about sex education, it's a taboo. Like you're not permitted to talk about sex education. But again, for us, we are like, we need to talk about sex education so that this girl should know if she engages into this activity, then she'll end up getting pregnant. If she's sexually active, then she needs to use this kind of contraceptive so that it won't interfere with her studies. Naming yourself as a feminist in our community has been a struggle for them. They think like you are fighting men. Being a feminist, it is not fighting men, but fighting the system that oppress women, system that oppress the girl child, and the maltreatment that women and girls are facing. And talking about system, we're talking about the patriarchal system. We are being denied the opportunity to lead. We are being denied the opportunity for our voices to be heard. And for us, we just need someone who will listen to us, because we understand our needs, we understand our issues and our challenges. If you leave a particular population behind and you just sit at the top of decision-making tables, making decisions about how a woman should live, the type of contraceptives a woman should use, the type of school or the type of cloth a woman should wear, then we are living in a society or in a world that has completely lost its track. And feminism is not feminism unless it is intersectional. A feminist in Kenya, and just to be precise, in Kibera, is a total different feminist who comes from Spain. Because for us, we have so many intersections that comes in and hinders us from just thriving, from just realizing our dream, from just ensuring that women and girls live in a world where it's free from violence or rather all forms of oppression. If you go somewhere and you just say you are coming from Kibera, for them they'll be like, Kibera, there are people there living in abject poverty, they don't eat, they don't do that. So how do you survive? You see, there are so many intersections that comes in, and for us, we are fighting all the intersectionality. We are fighting so that we can be equal, so that we can be all at a common ground and define ourselves as feminists from all over the world. I started an organization that is called Superb, and we organize, or we recruit, mobilize, and organize girls and women. Whatever our dialogue, or rather whatever our conversation is revolving around, to ensure that feminism is integrated in the conversation. With the 20 girls who are in the program, few years to come from now, I know I'm building the next 20 feminist Yasmins who will fight oppression, who will challenge instruments of power here in Kibera, who will fight against all odds in just ensuring that women's rights and girls' rights are not violated in any way or any form. And I'm really hopeful that I'll be able to make a difference in Kibera.